is not working today, so everyone who speaks needs to yell. That is the word. So thank you, Nancy. Be most welcome in this place. As we begin, I'd invite us to take a breath. Take in whatever you feel. Take in the bells. Take in the traffic. Take in the sacred air. Take a breath in and out at your own pace. Peace be with you.
And also with you.
It is good to be gathered this day. Thank you for joining us. Church of the Covenant welcomes you. We are grateful to be gathered. We are going to gather in a different way today, online and in person, as we celebrate Climate Jubilee. We are going to both bless the climate, bless God's climate, and be blessed by the climate. Often, I think, when we think about climate change, it feels a little overwhelming. Today, we're going to lean into joy. We're going to lean into something that is critical to our faith. It's a four-letter word. It begins with L and ends with E. What is it?
Love.
Love. God is love. It comes over and over again in our scriptures, especially in 1 John. God is love. And I want you guys to hear a quote from Robin Wall Kimmerer. She wrote, "Braiding Sweetgrass, our Climate Jubilee team has led our church in an all-book discussion on this book. I think we're in this place of rapid climate change because we haven't loved the land enough." This is not in your bulletins. What needs to change is a greater expanse of how we channel that love. We can extend to non-humans and humans a gift of relativeness. Relativeness. So friends, I'd invite us into that reciprocity today, that give and take with all of creation. I'd invite you to enjoy yourselves today. It's going to be a little different than sitting inside this beautiful cathedral. We are now in this beautiful cathedral, and there's going to be other people. There's going to be some traffic noises. We're going to stick together as best we can. A few logistics. We're going to gather here for a few moments. We're then going to walk together to our second station. It's called a blessing station at the public garden. Liz Visa cannot be with us in person, but she has given us permission and blessing to be in that beautiful space in public, and she gives us our extra blessing. We're going to gather there. That's one option. If you want to stop there and then come back, that's fine. There will be a second blessing station across at the river. So there's 3 stations today, here, public garden, and the river. Anytime that you want to take off by yourself or just stop and come back here, you're most welcome to do that. Those are the logistics. We'll give more directions as we go. But I'd invite us now into a spirit of worship. If you look at your bulletins, Joshua and Kate will lead us in this morning's call to worship.
God is in control, clothed in majesty, equipped with strength.
God established the earth, it shall never be moved. God's reign is established from of old. God is from everlasting. The floods have lifted up, O God. The floods have lifted up their voice. The floods are roaring.
More majestic than the thunders of such mighty waters, more awesome than the waves of the sea.
Soaring on high is God.
We, as we do every time we gather, we light and kindle a light, and we name it as the light of Christ. If you are with us online right now, you can safely kindle a candle or a light. Here in our space, we're going to gather this safe outdoor LED eco-friendly lantern. Thank you, Rowan, for lending it. This, friends, we name as the light of Christ. If anyone wants to carry that, you are most welcome throughout the service.
You want?
I'm going to read some selections from Luke 12.
All right.
Jesus also shouted to the crowd. When you see a cloud rising in the west, you immediately say, "It is going to rain," and so it happens. And when you see the south wind blowing, you say, "There will be scorching heat," and it happens. You hypocrites! You know how to interpret the appearance of earth and sky, but why do you not know how to interpret the present time? And why do you not judge for yourselves what is right? Remember, do not worry about your life. Consider the ravens. Consider the lilies. Do not keep worry. Do not be afraid, little flock. It is God's desire to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give alms. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Friends, I invite you to bring that treasure with you as we worship today in the streets and in nature. I'd invite us to gather ourselves with this song written by Rabbi Shoshana. And it is "The Tide is Rising." Some of us may know it, some may not. You will catch it by the third verse. We'll sing the first 3 verses. The tide is rising, and so are we. 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 This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The task is mighty. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. Land is holy. The land is holy, and so are we. The land is holy, and so are we. The land is holy, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. Okay, friends, we now have an invitation to process. Being part of the blessing, we are all essential to the healing of God's creation, and we are to be blessed by creation today. So, we're going to safely process. We do not have any ushers with us who will direct traffic. Are there some ushers with us, though? Maybe who would be open to that? Thank you, guys. Trisha and Trudy and Marnie. Awesome. So maybe you can keep an extra eye out for people. We're going to walk down this sidewalk. We're going to cross this sidewalk to the center of Comm Ave and walk straight down the tree-lined avenue. Say hello to your sibling trees. I'm not even joking. If you'd like to give a high five or a hug, please do so, but don't do it performatively. Only what is authentic. We'll walk all the way to the end of that. We'll cross there. We'll take a left down the sidewalk along the public garden, and then we'll take the last little entrance into the public garden to where the Cast Your Bread Upon the Waters monument is. Everyone clear on that? You can go at your own pace. We'll meet there. You're also welcome to end the service here if you'd like, or join us for that second blessing station. Let us process with love and joy in our hearts as we go. We'll meet you there. Hello, Zoomers. So glad you're with us. Sorry I forgot to fully welcome you all when we were gathering, but it is gorgeous out today, and hopefully you can maybe crack a window where you are and just feel that blessing of air. And you know, these trees are incredible. I wish we had some experts with us to identify each one as we went by, but they are here. Stewards of public garden. Liz, you are on today. We love you. Thank you for your work. And we're going to cross. Okay, all right, we'll go this way. We will go. Yeah, all right, we'll follow the movement. So thanks for being with us. And you can look ahead at the bulletin if you like while we're walking. We'll be there in a few minutes. To some of the quotes you may want to look at, the prayers. Otherwise, we'll see you in a few minutes as we unmute back on. All right. Thanks, John.
We didn't think we were going to. It's like 5 minutes to find a parking spot. You gave up on getting. We saw you walking. She was with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we saw we walking.
Oh, really?
We were circling
From the garage?
Yeah. Do you want to cover? I know you have your hands full. Do you want to look at it, Hannah? I'll print the picture. All right, keep going.
What's that? Oh yeah, no, we're going further. I was just pausing for a second.
No, we're not going to touch the water, though. Yeah, keep going. We don't understand I'm trying to get a parking spot that way. Oh. You know, like sort of before we get any point. I haven't gone in there for years, so then I was debating what garage and what
Tree. Those are from trees. Very amazing. Okay. All right, dear friends, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is not for me to welcome you to this place. God is present. This is God's place and also the public garden, and we're grateful for all those who tend this space for us. I'd invite Joshua to lead us next little while we're here. If you need to move in a little bit, hopefully our speakers can project, but we'll have a few lines where we'll get to receive some wisdom and direction.
If you will follow me along in the bulletin for our prayer for grounding in God's grace, let us all join together. Awash us anew this equinox, in mystery beyond, in splendor within, in love that flows equally as night and day. When the chaos turns, bring balance, bring presence, bring all. Amen.
As followers of Jesus, we believe that the truth sets us free. And for now, before the angels who have gone before us and those around us and among us, we want to share a few words of truth-telling about the gift of land and water where we gather and possess together. With special thanks to Christine James, Liz Visa, and Rob, we will lead us in this litany. After we share some lines, we will invite you to respond with the prompt, imagine. And the response will be, we imagine and are awed. And when we prompt with remember, the response will be, we remember and are humble.
So let's try this. Imagine this. We imagine and are awed. Remember. We remember and are humble. Imagine this. In this place around 11,000 years ago, when the glaciers from the latest ice age that once towered 2 miles overhead melted enough to reveal habitable tundra like landscapes, and the first indigenous people, the ancestors to the modern Massachusetts people, linked to the larger Algonquin nation, came from the south and the west of Turtle Island. At that time, as so much of the water was still frozen in the still receding glaciers, the shoreline was some 11 miles to the east of where we are now. The Boston Harbor Islands, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket were all low-lying hills. Imagine. We imagine and are awed.
Imagine this. These first folks to the earth people were drawn to this area rich with bays and estuaries, where fresh water from rivers and streams mixed with ocean water. This created a habitat rich with animal and plant life. Over thousands of years, they became expert stewards of this land and its waters, and they considered kin and took special care of the river they called the Equinox, or the meandering river, later renamed the Charles by white settlers. The people who lived around the Massachusetts Bay had trading networks that stretched beyond New England, at least to the Hudson River region of New York, and perhaps as far away as the Great Lakes region. Imagine.
We imagine and are awed. Imagine this. Native women served in important roles in their communities, including as powerful political leaders known as sachems. Fathers usually passed this position to their eldest son, but occasionally women too. They also became sachems. At least one non-male sachem is recorded in Massachusetts Bay. Her name is not known, but she's referred to as Squaw Sachem or Sachem of the Mystic. Early records show that Squaw Sachem status was considerable, not only among the native community, but also among the colonial elites. Imagine. We imagine and are awed.
Remember this. Undocumented white settlers began illegally occupying this land in the early 1600s, bringing with them the heresy known as the doctrine of discovery. Many of these are our own ancestors by denomination and faith. The majority came fueled by Christian white supremacy, and in response to what was often the extension of hospitality from indigenous communities, they dealt out oppression, subjection, and infection. This supremacy also allowed and justified the forced removal of Africans from their homelands. The first ship of enslaved people landing here in Boston in 1638 via Barbados and 1643 from Africa. Remember.
We remember and are humbled. Remember this. The sacred tidal waters that once held these fish weirs were later filled in by the forced removal of rocks and glacial till taken from Needham to create some 700 acres of new land that became known as Boston's Back Bay. Back Bay, where Church of the Covenant now floats. Remember. We remember and are humbled.
And remember this. We also honor and respect the many diverse indigenous people who are very much still alive and still connected to this land on which we gather, and from whom we have so much to learn. We give thanks to God for the continuous presence of Black, Indigenous, and people of color in these sacred lands, and their continued leadership and wisdom in helping us make a way forward to help bless our climate. And as followers of Jesus, who reminds us that the truth will help set us free, we conclude with the words from the Friends of the Public Garden where we now gather. Quote, we acknowledge the painful history of displacement of indigenous peoples from this place, and the work of repair is required and ongoing. In the spirit of the Massachusetts people, past, present, and future, we acknowledge that we live in a bond of reciprocity with the plant and animal relatives who call our hearts home. We honor the gifts given to us by this land and return them with our care. Remember.
We remember and are humbled.
Thank you, friends. This blessing station we are calling Giving. Our second blessing station will be called Receiving. giving is the context in which you're going to hear now from Ezekiel. That's going to set us forward. We're going to have one intention, and then we will process on. I'd invite now our reader of Ezekiel to come forward. Nancy?
Ecclesiastes.
I'm sorry. Yes, Ecclesiastes. Thank you.
I gotta make sure I'm doing right.
Yes, you're in the right place.
Ecclesiastes 11, starting at the first verse. Cast forth your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will get it back. Divide your means 7 ways, or even 8, for you do not know what disaster may happen on earth. When clouds are full, they empty rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. Whoever observes the wind will not sow, and whoever regards the clouds will not reap. Just as you do not know how the breath comes to the bones in the mother's womb, so you do not know the work of God, who makes everything. In the morning sow your seed, and at evening do not let your hands be idle, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Light is sweet, and it is pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. Even those who live for many years should rejoice in them all. Yet let them remember that the days of darkness will be many. All that comes in is vanity. Rejoice, young one, while you are young, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Banish anxiety from your mind, and put away pain from your body, for youth and the dawn of life are vanity.
So the last time we worshiped here, which was about 3 years ago as a church community, Liz reminded us that this monument, Cast Your Bread Upon the Waters, is also known in Samarity as the spirit of giving. It's clear, right? The text shows us if we put our bread out there, someday it'll come back. That give and take, the paying it forward idea. So as you have heard the deep history of this landscape, one common thread has been humans. For some reason, their creator has created us to be a part of this milieu. And sometimes I think when we think about climate change, we sometimes point the finger way too much at humans. Yes, there's a problem with fossil fuels. But we first sought after them because they were a gift to us as we understood them. And then we learned that this gift was not necessarily a gift after too much time. It's hurting our planet. So now we got to shift gears, and humans are the ones who are helping with nature to shift those gears. So friends, I think what is true in our faith tradition is that each and every one of us is not only beloved of God, made in the image of God, but is essential to the work for climate restoration and healing. So this is our invitation. We'll get a chance, maybe Hannah and others can lead us, maybe Kate, I don't know, might lead us to the fountain to receive. If you feel led and if it's safe, you can even lean over and receive, but also give. So give something to the work of climate justice. What do you have unique in you that is going to bring some healing to our planet and our world? Okay, so come forward. You don't have to touch the water, but if you'd like to, you can. And make an intention. We can do it separately, we can do it all together at different times. You can lean towards the fountain, but just think of something that you have within you. Maybe it's music, maybe it's dreams, maybe it's a professional gift. We all have gifts to give. So think about that gift. Come, take, receive from the water, and we're going to take that intention to our next station. So after you take this intention, I will give you directions so we can just naturally flow from here. We will now go from this gate. We'll cross over to the Arthur Fiedler Bridge. It's the footpath. We will then walk over the footpath and go all the way towards the monument, the Arthur Fiedler Monument, while we look out at the docks, okay? We'll find a patch of land there to gather. That'll be our last blessing station. So you're welcome to leave from here and finish the worship service or come with us to there. And we'll conclude the service there along the river. So the last invitation is as you walk over the Arthur Fiedler Bridge, keep the gift in your heart, but also maybe say a prayer for the world. Our world that does not know too many gifts right now around our changing climate. So say a prayer as you walk over that footbridge for the world, but retain the gift that you have. So come now, take and receive of this this fountain, what gift do you bring to this climate work and climate justice?
But like, there's usually 4 full-time people.
Nancy, do you mind if we? Nancy, do you mind if we sneak through?
But they were all mad.
Nancy, do you mind if we sneak through? Should we sneak through?
Well, I should have taken a lesson.
All right.
And so it was over on the other side of this, and I went drive her car on that sidewalk because she didn't want me to get into
And then I told her about November 10th. We're hoping to have a luncheon at Back Bay Church.
I didn't even tell you this.
So we'll get
had gathered a lot of representatives from mostly Catholic churches, but he reached out to Bethel AME and they connected with me because I was connected with them. And I'm still waking up. I don't know where I am. I've been in Reading a couple days and I'm still I still love the silence. Cross between the cookie and pecan center.
and we're going to have more water just ahead of us.
All right, friends, welcome. You can move in a little bit if you want to hear a little bit better, but welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to sing Down by the Riverside. I'm going to lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burdens down by the riverside, study more, no more. I ain't going lay down our fossil fuels. I'm gonna lay down my fossil fuels down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down all those fossil fuels down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. All right. Holly will lead us in a sacred reading quote.
Yes, this is from Beth Roach of the Nottoway tribe. Can everybody hear me?
Yes. If we close in just a little bit more, maybe we can hear a little bit better. Let's be friends.
Shout. Yeah. Receive this hope and challenge from Beth Roach, climate activist and seed and story keeper of the Nottoway tribe in what we now call coastal Virginia. While our climate is changing rapidly, we must take this time to witness what we still have today. Record it, burn it into our memories. We gotta remember so that we can tell the future ones about this magical place. Will y'all be memory keepers with me?
Thank you, Holly, and thank you, Beth. Beth is the founder of the Native Seed Alliance. She keeps seeds, not just for the current seed emergency for food for people who are hungry, but for generations to come, that we still have the same food things and growing things. I also want to name here our climate jubileers have been trying to help us notice and take joy in the way the world is right now. Our Jubilee jaunts, the fact that we're outside in worship right now, even with the clanging of the war that is around us, right? We're trying to enjoy and practice it is a spiritual practice to enjoy what there is, even when it's cloudy or rainy. Thanks be to God for the rain of yesterday. Our earth was so thirsty. I would invite Kate now to come forward and lead us in an ancient prayer as joy keepers, as storytellers, and as seed keepers.
Would you join together with me in a prayer passed down to us from the 4th century theologian Basil the Great of Caesarea? Let's pray in union as is printed. O God, enlarge within us the sense of fellowship with all living things, our siblings, the animals, to whom thou gavest the earth as their home in common with us. We remember with shame that in the past we have exercised the high dominion of humanity with ruthless cruelty, so that the voice of the earth, which should have gone up to be in song, has been groan of travail. May we realize that they live not for us alone, but for themselves and for thee, and that they love the sweetness of life. Amen.
A reading from Hildegard of Bingen. God is the foundation for everything. This God undertakes, God gives, such that nothing is necessary for life is lacking. Now humankind needs a body that at all times honors and praises God. This body is supported in every way through the earth. Thus the earth glorifies the power of God.
A Spell for the Fall Equinox by Adrienne Marie Brown. The nights stretch themselves over our harried hearts. There's no differentiation now. Each day we come apart in new ways at old seams. We age on the edge of crises we thought were hypothetical. hyperbolic till they knocked on our door. One answer to the chaos is hibernation. One answer to the fire is snow. Let us carve out caverns for our rest now. Howl down the dust, and let no harm come as we sleep, lay naked and huddled. The truth is forever muddled. The fools took the future hostage, but we are seed and spore. One answer to death is a haunting. One gift of each harvest is more. Let your leaves fall down and sing to your ghosts. Nourish life with everything you release. Ours is not the only life on earth, nor the only death. Let your altars hold the earth and the sky and sea. It is time to gather and grieve, time to listen and pray, time to find the cave that curves against our spines. Shorten every work day to catch the brief sun. Be bare under softest blanket, dream of pumpkin, root, and pine. The half-earth grows dark, inviting you to rest. The hungry earth needs the dreams that only come with death.
Thank you, Kate. Friends, happy Equinox. It is that day of equal night, equal day. Sunrise at 6:32 this morning, sunset at 6:41 p.m. tonight. Our climate jubileers have also led us in observing these 4 switches in season. Today is a day where we're noticing that. I love that there are leaves all around us, reminding us of the joy of autumn. We give thanks for the sun of summer and all the experiences we've had as we give thanks to God, looking forward to what this fall might bring. Friends, I want us to take a moment now to be grateful in some silent prayer together. I want us to remember the love that we were invited to at the beginning by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and also the remembrance that Beth Roach has called us into, and Marie Brown, Adrienne Marie Brown as well, to remember. Okay, so we're gonna take those things that you left or received or gave at the fountain, bring those now to God in a moment of prayer. If you want to take the love and the gifts now also and shed them out onto a world that may know pain, I'd invite you to think about those places that could use some more love right now. So any prayers that you brought to worship today, this is your time in silence before God, maker of colored leaves and this incredible Quinabican River watershed from which we find life. I'd invite us just to share some joy of prayer in silence now together. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, children. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Receive this hope from 22-year-old co-founder of Re-Earth, Xiye Bastida, a Mexican-Chilean climate activist and member of the indigenous Mexican Otomi Toltec Nation, who writes, "We don't call water a resource, we call it a sacred element. The relationship we have with everything that Earth offers, it's about reciprocity. That's the only way we're going to learn how to shift our culture from an extraction culture to a balanced and harmonious culture with the land."
Now we got Ezekiel. I knew
it, yeah. Finally. So receive this wisdom from the prophet Ezekiel. Wherever the river goes, every living creature that swarms will live, and there will be many fish. Once these waters reach there, it will become fresh, and everything we live will live where the river goes. On the banks, on both sides of the river, there will grow all kinds of trees for food. Their leaves will not wither, nor their fruit fail, but they will bear fresh fruit every month, because the water from them flows from the sanctuary. Their fruit will be food, and their leaves for healing.
We know that the work of climate justice requires us to act and advocate beyond our personal choices to affect change on a larger societal level. One invitation we have for you is to take action for Climate Jubilee this week by joining Mass Power Forward. On Tuesday, September 24th at 12 noon, there will be an in-person press conference and action to encourage Governor Healy, don't kick the climate can down the road. So meet at Nurses Hall, second floor of the Boston State House, 12 noon on Tuesday. You are invited to wear a suit jacket and play a legislator kicking the climate can, or wear red and hold a sign with our call for a robust climate bill now.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Another way to embody climate hope in action is to help yourself and others prepare and build resilience for the changes we are facing. Consider joining our partner organization CREW, which stands for Communities Responding to Extreme Weather, this week from September 24th to the 30th in their Climate Preparedness Week, with the theme Reimagining Our Relationship with the Land. And they have two events this week, one on Tuesday, which is a Zoom land connection for mental health and healing, and on Thursday, depaving, also on Zoom, depaving and other nature-based solutions, and they're both in the bulletin. And does anybody else have any other invitations to action?
Yes. Extinction Rebellion, Mass Power Forward, Third Act Mass, all of them are joining on Thursday at the State House at 6 o'clock for another rally to get the legislators to pay attention to the need to get the climate bill put in special session.
And if you look at the news, New York City, there's a lot of stuff this week. It's Climate Action Week and Climate Preparedness Week, so tune in and say prayers of celebration for all those brave souls who are activating us. So the trees, the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nations, for all of us, and we are to receive the fruit of that. Betty will be giving us, at the end of our service, some fruit. So do not leave before you receive that fruit of the harvest, of the beauty of autumn. Join our Life Alivers if you're a Life Aliver on on October 20th.
September 28th for the retreat. October 28th for the apple picking.
September 28th for the retreat, and the 20th of October for the apple picking. Again, you'll see a connection there. There are also a Jubilee jaunt on the 6th. There is something else on the 26th, an all-church retreat. All of these are opportunities to be a part of something that we are a part of, a community that inspires us, to remind us that we're not alone. So friends, as we close ourselves now in a benediction, I just invite you to both raise a hand of blessing upon the Quinabican, reminding ourselves that we have a role to play in blessing the earth, and then bring it back to your own heart and receive it as a blessing. And friends, as you receive that blessing, hear this: the deep peace of the running wave of the Quinabican River be with you. The deep peace of the shining stars be with you. The deep peace of the quiet earth covered in foliage this fall be with you. And the deep peace of the one of peace that we name as Jesus, the Christ, be with you now and always. Amen.
There's one final closing blessing which can be found in your bulletin. If you will join with me one last final time. May the radical equality of night and day bring us balance and poise. May we know blessings this season. For the day now is done. Thanks be to God. For the fall and autumn that stretches before us. Thanks be to God. Guide our waking divine spirit and guard our sleeping. That awake we may watch with Christ, and asleep we may rest in peace.
Thank you so much for being so lovely.
Peace be with you.
And also with you.
Thanks, you guys. Peace be with you.
It's not enough.
Talking to you.
There'll be a whole board.
I think I taught you. Well, baby.